YouTube. Well, I'm back at it again. I built another battery box here. This one's a little more powerful from an actual current perspective than my other one, but this is a little battery box I built. It's 30 amp hour battery or 399 watt hours at 13.3 volts. I built this one specifically for taking my ham radio gear out in the field and powering it. Along with this thing, I got a little 100 watt down here. This is a portable solar panel. You can see that flips open there. It's kind of not a good picture here, but basically this flips open and sits out. This is a 100 watt solar panel, so I pair that up with the box here, and I can virtually run, if I got sunshine, perpetually out there and recharge this box. But basically what this is, you see here, I've got two basically small Anderson or power pole connectors on here, run through a 30 amp fuse. This is for powering the radios. And again, if I have good sun and solar going on out there, I won't even run the battery box down at all. On the back here, I got some generic 12 volt connectors back here. And on the side, I've got this Wanderer. It's a 10 amp charger, but it can be either 120 watts or 240 watts, depending on whether on a 12 volt or 24 volt configuration. So I actually have two of those little panels. I could run both of them, but one of them is plenty. So in any case, front panel here, let me turn it on. You can see it come on there, reads volts. I've got a normal cigarette lighter. So if you didn't want to have you had a little portable inverter that you wanted to run, you could plug it in there. But I find I never really used the inverter. It was wasted space. And so this is the USB. And then of course here's the on-off switch. This little 12 volt jack here is for charging it with a 2 amp lithium battery charger. It plugs in there. And you could also take 12 volts out of there for something that uses that type of connector. But anyway, this is it in a nutshell. And the box opens up. And if you look inside here, it's all the wiring. I actually have a little cardboard insulator that sits down over this, and I put the battery charger and stuff in here. I don't have it in there right now, but these are the 4 3.2 volt lithium cells down in here. Configure, you see all the wiring down in there with the BMS. All the wires come up into here. This manages the charge, the discharge, and all the parameters to keep this battery from exploding. Being improperly used and running them. It's all the other wiring that's in there. So that's all there really is to it. I'll throw a few pictures in and a couple of short clips of the build where I cut and put these in here and what the batteries look like when I put them in the box. But this is basically just a little plastic box I got from Harbor Freight. It's a 30 caliber ammo box. You can do everything you need to do here with just a small drill bit and an X-Acto blade to cut the switches and stuff in, so you can see what it looks like. Now this is a little bit more powerful. I'll put a link in the video. This is one I built previously. Pretty much the same specs. This one's got a little bit more electronics on it. 25 amp hour battery. But it also has an inverter. It's a Bestech inverter I took apart and put into the box, so it does AC as well. I'll throw a link to the video on that one if you're interested in building something like that. But I found I didn't use the inverter much, so I built one like this, which is actually smaller. If you put these guys side by side, you'll see the difference. A 50 caliber ammo box versus a 30. So that's why I built the small one, because I don't need the inverter. And I also run all you can see all the current draw and all that through a little Bluetooth app. This has got a Bluetooth dongle in it, and it puts out to an app on my phone, so I can see everything, parameters of the battery, the charge, discharge, everything that's going on with the batteries right there. So anyway, this is it. I will also, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to put in pictures. I got most of this stuff on AliExpress. These batteries were literally $45, I think. And then, of course, all the other stuff. The BMS is about $30. This was about 18 to 20, this thing here, and that was about $18. And each time you add everything up, I had about $145 in it. And believe it or not, I got these 100 watt panels down here. I had bought two of them, but I bought them for $79 each. Can't find them right now. You can find something similar for $89. They're literally for, say, 80 bucks there and 140 here from Mastic. For $220, I got a pretty serious little solar generator. It can be used during hurricanes, charge phones, computers, can recharge it with the sun. But I also use it in the field for my radios when I take them out. So anyway, I just thought I'd share this with you. I'll put a couple more clips, like I said, of the actual build in there, and give you an idea how this goes together. But not hard to do. You can do it. Easy enough. Talk to you later. Bye. All right, show you what I got going on here. I'm doing a top balance on these 30 amp hour batteries. So I'm sitting here. I got this little power supply. You can current limit it right now. I got it set at 3.4 volts, And so I got to get this up to about a 95% state of charge, and that's what I'm doing with the 3.4 volts. I'll actually turn it up to 3.6, limit it to 1 amp, and put it back on here to get a top balance. But the top balance, and basically what you do is you short out all the positives, all the negatives. So this is just basically one big, I guess it'd be 120 amp hour, 3.2 volt battery cell at this point. So what I'll do is I'll put in the 3.6 volts. What happens is these things, when they get to 3.6 volts, they'll stop drawing current. So once this is done here, the current's starting to go down. When it gets down to 0, I'll put that up to 3.6, limit it to 1 amp, and just let this go to 0. That will effectively top balance these things. And what that does is it makes sure all the batteries, when they're all full, so when they discharge hopefully about the same rate. They don't get unbalanced, because the BMS will shut off when any one of the cells reaches a limit. And you don't want it to do that. You want to hit the limits at the same time. So that's basically why you're doing this. But anyway, this will take could take a few hours actually. At this rate, I could put a high current one on here and do it, but I got time. So in any case, I'll come back to you when I start to assemble this thing into the YAML box and show you how I'm doing that. But the first thing you got to do anyway when you get the cells is get them charged up to 95%, then do a top balance on them. Come back to you later. Okay. Well, I got the batteries top balance, so I got these 30 amp hour batteries top balance. So these are going to go down into the box like this. I got other junk in here right now, but they're going to go down here like this, and I'll get all these on the proper sides. Right now I got them all together because I top balance them, but I got to take all these bars off and get them plus minus, go back and forth to get the 12 volt cell. But in any case, so you can see the front part of this box is empty with the battery sitting in there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to bore you with all the assembly part of it, but I've got to take this guy right here, and this has got it's like a cigarette lighter input. It's got a meter, some USB on and off switch, and it's got this 12 volt jack right here. This will be used for this. This is a 2 amp lithium battery charger, so I'll have this that I'll keep with it such that if I don't have solar and I can plug in somewhere, I can charge it that way as well. But also the solar charger will plug right in there and charge as well. But anyway, so this is what I'm going to do. I've got the BMS here. It's a 30 amp BMS, so this thing will have a maximum of 30 amp output. Well, this BMS also got a Bluetooth module that goes in it. And so rather than get all complicated and put a shunt in here and all other kinds of stuff, the BMS actually has a shunt in it. I'll be able to read the state of charge, current, and everything right on my phone. So I won't have all that on a meter taking up space and everything. It's all going to be right there. I still will be able to see my voltage and everything, which is pretty relevant for a lithium battery, but I'll be able to see my state of charge and all that on my phone through a little app. So after that, so I've got USB. You can see I got 2 USB jacks there. I got a USB 3 amp and then the USB-C on the bottom there. This is the on and off switch. So with that, I'm going to have several ways to get power. The 12 volts out for a radio. It'll either be the 12 volt cigarette lighter jack. I'm going to install this little power pole connector. So this will I'll have 2 there, and then I'm also going to put this banana jack on here, so you can actually put in banana jacks or just put in bare wires, however you do it. So this is really all I got to do. This is the job. I got to hook the BMS up with all of its relevant wires, cut the holes, put all these in there and everything else. So all this is going to kind of go on this end right here. I may put the power poles and all on this side over here, but this panel is going to go right there. It needs room because it's going to protrude into the box. I have to take a look at this. I'm not going to put the 12 volt relays and all that in here because I really don't have anything that's going to be drawing current, parasitic drain on this thing. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with this. It'll be pretty simple. So I've got those 100 watt panels. We'll be able to charge this, and also 30 amp hours. I'll be able to run my radio for quite a long time. So anyway, let me put this all together, and I'll come back and show you what I got. But I don't want to show you the build of it. I mean, it's just drilling some holes for these guys to go in, and then screwing in. And same with the jacks. That's all that's got to cut into this thing here. I'll be able to do that relatively simple. And then all this will go mount inside the box with the battery. In any case, yeah.